Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the death battle between Sub-Zero and Glacius. For those of you that are new to these reviews, I focus less on the animation and humor of death battle and instead focus on the research and critical analysis. You see, I wish to improve my own research and critical analysis capabilities, and these prediction/review videos are a perfect way for me to do so. This video will consist of me going over what I got wrong in my prediction, what I got right, and then what I learned. Let's begin. First, what I got wrong. Sub-Zero won! No! My winning streak is ruined. But yeah. While this is unfortunate, it's not surprising. Like I said in my prediction, this match is super close, and all it would take for Sub-Zero to win is for me to have made a few mistakes in my research and analysis, and that is exactly what happened. I gave Sub-Zero less credit than he deserved, and I gave Glacius more credit than he deserved. With Sub-Zero, one thing I got wrong was that I failed to look into his Test Your Might feats, which is awful on my part because I've made this mistake before. I did the exact same thing with Sonya Blade, and as a result, I failed in my prediction for her death battle. As such, I should have known to look into it for Sub-Zero, but I didn't, and that is so shameful for me. I'm fine with making mistakes, but I am not fine with me failing to learn from my mistakes. So I apologize for that. Another mistake was that I failed to recognize that while Glacius can attack fast, Sub-Zero's teleportation is nearly instant, and as such, faster. On top of that, I misattributed to Glacius that he can read minds, when in actuality, there is no evidence of that. He can use his telepathy for communication, but there's no proof that he can read his opponent's mind while in battle to gain an advantage. That was just something I assumed, which was a mistake. And then, what was my absolute biggest mistake, and the one that probably cost me the match, was that I misinterpreted Glacius' durability feat of crash landing in Antarctica. That was a durability feat, but it was a feat for his native shell, not his ice shell. His native shell may have been able to withstand such an explosive crash landing, and if he had that shell in this death battle, then he probably would have won. But he didn't. He had his ice shell, and ice has known properties and durability, and while it is certainly tough, it is not tougher than metal. And since Sub-Zero can break metal, that means he can break Glacius. And Sub-Zero's teleportation gives him every opportunity to do just that. Funny enough, that is everything I got wrong. In a match this close, all you have to do to pick the wrong winner is get one or two things wrong, and that's exactly what happened. Now for what I got right. My research was almost perfect. I didn't know about the titanium feat for Sub-Zero, but I already knew that he could tear through metal cyborg, so this feat wasn't really all that game-changing. Everything else these characters did, I knew about. My analysis, on the other hand, wasn't quite as perfect, and unfortunately, it needed to be perfect. In a match this close, one cannot afford to make mistakes and still make an accurate prediction. Every mistake I made was, in and of itself, fatal to my prediction. As such, I needed to be perfect if I wanted to succeed. However, I do not expect perfection from myself, at least not yet. This is only the fourth death battle that I have thoroughly researched and analyzed, and at this point, I'm still going to be making mistakes. With that in mind, my analysis may have been flawed, but I still take pride in it, and I'd like to think that had this match been a little more one-sided, I would have gotten it right. Although I suppose that's just conjecture on my part. Regardless, that's everything I got right. Now for what I learned. In this death battle there were both old lessons and new lessons. One old lesson is that I need to remember to look at minigames in these franchises because concealed within them could be very significant feats. Another old lesson is that I should remember that direct advantages are always worth more than indirect advantages. This is my roundabout way of saying that I need to place less significance upon experience. Experience has value, to be sure, but I still think I paid it more heed than it was due, and I think that played a role in my failure to predict this death battle. A new lesson is that I should never make any assumptions about the abilities of these characters. I need to only report and analyze precisely what these characters can do, no more, no less. If a character has, for example, telepathy, I need to figure out exactly what the scope and use of that telepathy is, and from there I can make my analysis. And my final lesson is that I need to go through my conclusions and provide counter-arguments against those conclusions to see if they hold up. If I had just done that for Glacius' crash landing feat, I never would have made the mistake that I did. I'm not Death Battle, which means I don't have the advantage of having a team of people debating my conclusions. I only really have myself, which means I need to provide both sides of the conversation. In short, for every argument I make, I need to also make a counter-argument. And that's just about everything I learned, which means we've reached the end of the video. While I am sad that my winning streak is over, I also knew that I had to get one wrong eventually. And I'm fine with that. It's like I always say, this series is about being right and wrong. If I was always right, then I would never learn. And if I'm not learning, then what's the point? And with that, I think I'll go ahead and sign out. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you've got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.